Once again, we back. This is Sir William L.
This is Sartorial King.
This is
Caviar Conversations.
Caviar for breakfast, champagne, y'all for breakfast, champagne, y'all for breakfast, champagne, y'all for breakfast, champagne, y'all for breakfast, champagne, bubble bath.
Yes, sir. We back. Special guest, my man Lamar Covert is in the house.
Let's go.
What's up, baby? How you doing, Lamar?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. I had a glass before this started, so I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get used to cameras, man. I haven't been on camera a lot. We doing a podcast right now. We're on the 11th episode, so that's also something new for me. So I'm just and it's crazy because of me being the party guy, right? You would think that this is what I do, but I'm better at it in person. So you know, being on camera and being recorded and taking pictures and all that, this is new for me, man.
It's just a whole new territory for you, right?
Yeah.
I feel you.
So me and Lamar go back. Man, we go back a long time when you could really party in the city and have a good time. So I met Lamar just by being in the mix, and I'd be like, damn, like this event is popping, man. Like, who's putting this together? And they'd be like, yo, the guy right there. And I'd be like, well, who is he? They're like, no, that's the guy. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, somebody do something. I gotta meet this guy. So coincidence, we bump into each other like, hey man, I love this environment. I love the party. He's like, nah, man, I see what you doing out there too. Unbeknownst to me. Because this is when I was in the active mode in Philly a whole lot. And it just was like two like minds, you know, came together. And he just was like, yo, man, whenever you want to do something, just let me know. The brother had good energy. Yeah. Always very polite, always very welcoming, but always about his business. So I appreciate you coming on this platform, Caviar Conversations, Lamar, to talk about what you got going on, because you're doing big things out here.
All right, man. I'm at the starting line, man.
You at the starting line? Okay.
Hey, and we all at the starting line, brother. We all at the starting line.
A humble king. I love it. So Lamar, for those that don't know, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and, you know, where you at and how you got here.
Yeah. Well, first, I just want to say thank you to you guys for reaching out to me. And Clout, if you're watching this, thank you to you as well, Clout, for
definitely the Clout, though. Yeah.
All my name in a hat like that. I appreciate that. So to piggyback off of what Will said, I started out as the party guy, man. So let me ask you something. Never mind. No. Go, bro. So this started in college, man. 2000 and I want to say 6. 2006.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Cheney.
Come on,
all right, you went to HBC. I went to Lincoln. All right, so
Lincoln guy, Lamar.
Right down the street. Yeah.
HBC love. Yeah, definitely.
We used to run through y'all parties a lot.
Yeah. Same here.
So it started in college. It really started like room parties, like room parties. You know how it go. You know how college go. Room parties turn into a whole floor party. You know, the jungle juice and every room is lit. You know how it goes. And from there, it went to like actual buildings on the college campus. So we used to break in buildings on the college campus and throw parties. And you know, everybody had a job, right? Like you got the radio, you got the liquor, and as soon as security come, everybody got a break, right? So my roommate at the time, my man Far from Southwest, he used to always bring up throwing parties and how we from Philly, so we know how it went back in the day when guys were throwing parties. There was a lot of local, drug dealers and a lot of guys that was moving. Only thing that differed was the capital. Like, these guys got money, but we not broke. Like, we not broke. Like, we could do it. Like, we probably can't buy 1 million bottles and give out bottles to everybody in the party, but we can at least rent the venue out. We can go get some flyers. So, excuse me. We sat down one day and we said, listen, we're gonna throw a party, right? Like, enough people in Southwest and West Philly and South Philly. I know enough people in North Philly, and I know some people in West Philly. I know some people in, Germantown. And We rented out a venue. It was Mill Creek Tavern.
Yeah.
Mill Creek Tavern. And through some affiliations that we had with some other guys that was throwing parties, it was they were called Chosen Twice. This guy named eBay, Staff, and another guy named Cop. They were having a party that same weekend, and it was the same weekend as Coco's casino birthday party. So,
I remember those days.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we basically had a big situation at Mill Creek Tavern. It was a big party. That was like our introduction into it. And we wound up collaborating with another big team in the city that was throwing a party. And once we saw what that looked like, we said, "Oh, you know, we gonna go. You know, we're gonna go from this point. Like, we're not stopping." So we had a nice run, man. We had like a 2-year run, everywhere, man. You know, Coco Bongo, Starlight Ballroom.
Starlight, man.
Man, yeah.
These, I know for some people that may be younger, they may not know these names, but these was all the spots that we used to party at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we had a lot of joints, and then we had parted ways. So I had my man Jafar, it was him and his best friend, and my other man Brandon that went to Cheney. So I had wound up parting ways from them. I think mainly what happened was that I was hanging with an older audience, and I was dealing with a lot of like older women at the time. So I was attracted to what they were doing. Like I was attracted to like getting dressed, right? You know, these people, they putting clothes on, they, you know, $100, $150 tickets to come to a party. And I was really attracted to that. So I wanted to go that route. And, you know, we had our differences, and we had our words or whatever, but it was still love at the end of the day. So parted ways. And me and my man Ish, Will, you might be familiar with.
I know Ish is, yeah.
So me and Ish, we had linked up. And on the humbug, I think Ish had hit me up on like MySpace. And was like, "Yo, I see what you're doing, you know, let's put something together." And the last party we had before I parted ways was at I think they call it used to be called Patois on 3rd and Market. Like some people say Patu, but I know it was called Patois. We had a big black and white party. DJ XL was the DJ. It was really big. It was a nice situation.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Was that, you said 3rd and Market? Because I remember back in the day, was it Blue Zets?
That was down the street.
That wasn't the same venue.
That wasn't the same. No. This was
Red Sky?
So it was the block before Red Sky.
Red Sky, okay. All right.
Block before Red Sky.
I got you.
Yeah. I'm not even sure what it's called now, to be honest. But all in all, you know, I had got a taste of like a themed party and telling people to get dressed, right? And from that point on, we started doing more collaborations with like a lot of the older guys, you know, trendsetters, you know, Limo, D, Littles, Tyler, you know, you may know him as the president. And
shout out to Lincoln. Yeah, he went Tyler with the Lincoln. Yeah.
Yep. You know, my man Lucky, you know, rest in peace to Lucky.
Lincoln, another Lincoln brother. Yeah.
Started doing a lot of collaborations with those guys, and they embraced us, you know, being a little younger. Had a big black and white party at the golf course on Ceylon Avenue. We did the Real World House down 3rd and Arch.
Yeah, I remember that house. Yeah.
Yeah. We did a couple like private parties. And that, you know, through doing those events, I started to get a better idea of like liquor, like liquor sponsorships, you know. And I think naturally, me and Ish, we went our ways. Like, you know, Ish he was the corporate guy, he was the business guy, you know, he was the one that was doing the like the pitch decks and the proposals, and I was outside, you know. I was coming up with, like, I was the creative, I was coming up with the flyer ideas, I was going to all the parties, mixing and mingling with everybody, and we just worked. You know, it was a perfect marriage. You know, it worked. So to see our transition now, you know, from we used to go on like marketing company websites and like steal their mission statements and try to, you know, and try to figure out, yeah, you got to make it work, right?
You got to make it work, bro.
You know, we young, you know, we you know, 22 years old, 23 years old, you know, we trying to get liquor sponsorships. Like we, you know, we didn't know what we were doing. So we were just trying to figure it out. So to go from that to, you know, my, you know, issue actually being in marketing, like he went to go work for like Damon John. You know, now he's working for a big tech company, you know, in Virginia. And then me getting more into the hospitality space, you know, getting more into the big events, big productions, you know, like Black Is. That's ultimately what I always wanted to do. Like, that was my goal from the beginning. Like, yeah, we're going to use the resources we have now. We're going to throw the parties we can throw now, but ultimately I want to get here. You know, I want all of that. I want the big production. I want the catering. You know, I want people to just feel appreciated when they walk in the door. And that's basically what Black is, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. So to touch on Black Is, my daughter was born 2009. So in 2009, I kind of like went straight, you know, father mode. You know, I slowed everything down. And it was my first kid, so I was nervous. You know what I mean? I was super nervous. I went and got a job. You know, I needed some stability. Can't keep hustling. You know, when you got a child, you need some stability, man. So I took some time off. Took a lot of time off, and I was itching during that time, but I guess I was just going through a rut. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it back, right? And I was doing a lot of research on marketing at the time, just trying to figure out what my next move was. So my homie Crystal Bailey,
shout out to Crystal.
Yeah, shout out to Crystal Bailey, you know, wedding, you know, big event planner, wedding planner. She was always in my ear like, yo, you need to get back outside. You know, you need to get back outside. There's nothing going on out here. We need an event. You need to get back outside. And I'm like, I don't know if I really care for it. So this was maybe, I want to say 3 years ago. I went to dinner en blanc, me and my sister Ebony. And Ebony is one of the partners in Black Is, and she's one of the partners in Black Oak. So went to dinner en blanc, and I'm standing there, and Crystal had called me, and she said, yo, I know you at dinner en blanc. You know, is the traffic crazy? Because I need to get wherever she was trying to go. I'm telling her, like, yeah, the traffic is retarded. Like, you know, you should take this route or whatever. I said, yo, man, I got an idea, and I've been pondering this idea for a long time. I think I'm just comfortable now, right? I want to do it. And she was like, well, yeah, because I got an idea too, so we need to talk. And she's real, you know, extravagant when it comes to the decor. So she's telling me this like garden theme with all these leaves and greenery. And I'm like, yeah, this is right up my alley, right? I always had this idea to do a supper club, you know, like the Cotton Club. And, you know, you see all those old videos of like all the black artists, and they got the band in the background and the dance and all that. And people eating dinner and cocktails. I always had this idea in my head, like, yo, man, I really want to do this. So as I'm sitting there eating dinner at dinner en blanc with my sister Ebony, she brings up this other idea about doing this black tie event, but doing it in the middle of the street.
It's dope.
So everything just clicked at the same time. Next day, I call Crystal. I'm like, yo, we need to start working on this now. So this was 2018. I'm sorry, 2018. So I'm like, we gotta start working on this now. So I'm like, yo, people gotta get dressed. It has to be a get dressed situation. But it has to be surrounded around like Black, right? Like Black people, you know, Black excellence and what we represent. And we're going through a crazy thread, a text message thread of like, what does Black mean? What does Black represent? So of course, when you look up Black, you see all these like negative terms, right?
Yeah.
Right. So once you cut through all of that, you start seeing things like, you know, opulence. You start seeing, you know, legacy. You start seeing excellence. So we're like, yo, like, what is Black? So I'm sending her definitions. She's sending me definitions like Black is this, Black is that, Black is this. So you're going back and forth, and I'm sitting there, and of course I'm drinking a glass of wine, and I'm like, no, Black is. She's like, what? I'm like, that's the name, Black is. I said, because whoever is saying it, it's their definition of what it is.
Yeah.
Right? I might say, you know, Black is, you know, I don't know, enterprising. You might say Black is beautiful. You know. So
it's up to under somebody's interpretation. Yeah.
So I also thought from a marketing point of view, like if somebody comes to this event and they tag it, they're going to say Black is and put whatever they want after it. So the logo is the words Black is with the 3 dots. I forget what those 3 dots are called, but basically that's just leaving it for someone to, you know, input whatever their word is.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what happened with Black is, man. So, you know, we had our meetings and we figured it out. First one was 2018, December 2018. You know, live band, 4-course meal, you know, by my partner, Kurt Evans. Y'all may know him as Kurt Cooks, who owns Down North Pizza.
Okay. Kurt.
You know, we had like a ballet situation going on. You know, we had some live instruments in there. It was a big deal, man. We had about I think it was 180 people the first year, 2019. I wound up getting hooked up with Caviar, and they were trying to break into the Philadelphia. They were trying to break into the Philadelphia market, so they helped us out, really well, and we did the Man Music Center.
That's a stunt right there. Hold on, that's a stunt. Hold on, I'm just say that's a stunt. We said the Man Music Center, and for anybody that does not know, Man Music Center holds, I forget even the amount. I know you can sit out in the grass too, but growing up, I'm going there for every concert. You know, Shaka Khan coming to town, Anita Baker, Maze and Frankie Beverly.
Okay,
you know, I mean, I know they do the Dell too, but man.
So we did the Man Music Center. So what's significant about Black is that we do a registration process. So I'm sure we've all been to events where you get kind of embarrassed, or you feel as though there are certain people who kind of give the, us, this race, a bad name, right? Like, you want to go have a good time, you got dressed, you spent money on your outfit, you look good, you feel good, and then a fight breaks out.
Yeah. We too grown for that. Though.
And we all been there.
I know we've been there. It's just like at this point, it's like that's unacceptable though. At this point.
Or you go outside and it's some gunplay outside, right? So because we've all been in the event space, all of the partners of Black is, myself, Crystal, Ebony, and Cody. Some of you may know Cody as KD Philippe Eyewear. So we all been around. We know what's going on. We know some of the inner workings of the city. We know who's who. We know who's baby mom and baby father and blah, 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 right? We wanted to create this event, for Black people to celebrate being Black, like being who we are, right? Like we are excellence, we are opulence, right? You know, we beautiful, man. And it's time for us to be able to, I might want to go out and buy a pair of $600 shoes and $1,000 suit and go get it tailored. And, you know, you want to feel good about yourself when you walk in the door. And I know women want to feel the same way when they come in the room. They want to see men look the same way. We want to see women that look that way. And we know that she spent thousands of dollars on her outfit. She got her hair done. She got her nails done. You don't want to walk in there with a pair of Timbs on, because now she gonna look at me as the event producer and say, "Yo, why did you let him in here?"
Yeah, it holds the standard for your event too.
Yeah, like why did you let him in here? Yeah. Or like the other side of that, being a woman coming in, with some clogs on or something. Like, no, like you gotta go get dressed, right? So we do a registration process because sometimes you know what's going on in the streets, and you want to prevent that. And a lot of people, it was some backlash, like, well, why I gotta give you my Instagram, or why I gotta, well, this is why we have to do it, because 2019 at the Man Music Center, there was almost a situation if we didn't have the registration, because it was a person who had a baby by somebody, and it was two baby moms, and the one baby mom was kind of hot-headed, and the guy was showing up with the other baby mom. So it was like, hold on, we gotta nip this in the bud right now, because we know what type of time she might be on. So if we gonna stand by what we say, what this event represents, then we gotta figure this out before the doors open. And that's pretty much what the registration process is about, and I'm gonna be honest, man, like if I look on your Instagram and your first 6 or 9 pictures is you, holding up middle fingers, it's probably a no. Because I don't know what type of time you want.
You don't want
no, I agree, though. I agree. That's why I'm laughing, because it's like it's kind of like he's in my head, though. Like, yeah, I see so much of that stuff.
Yeah, and you don't want to take that chance.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
Some people you give them the benefit of the doubt, but you don't want to take that chance. Like you have to understand, like these big productions, like they cost money. They cost money. You understand?
Partnerships.
And yes. Like just imagine if you go outside to the let out and something happened. Now, a Caviar is saying, "Listen, we can't be associated with you next year." Right.
Business.
Or it just gives us a bad name. Right. Like, I don't know if I want to go to their events no more, because this is the type of behavior that happens at their events.
Tarnishes the brand.
Yeah. So that's Black Is, man. And of course, COVID shut us down, last year, and who knows what this year is gonna look like. We playing the waiting game. We already had a venue locked in for last year. Venue was still willing to do business with us. Everything was ready. We had the theme set up. We already knew what we were doing, but we playing the waiting game like everybody else. I'm just as anxious as everybody else. I think right now we have about 3,000 registrations. Like 3,000 registrations right now. So yeah, man.
You got 3,002.
I appreciate it.
You got 3,002. So so Will knows that I do my homework. So I know COVID happened, but you were about to go to the south of France.
So that was a birthday trip.
Okay.
That was a birthday trip. We were planning on going, yes, So my brother and I, our birthdays are 2 weeks apart from each other. So both Tauruses, both the same interest.
Taurus over here, brother.
Oh man, man. When's your birthday?
April 21st.
Okay, May 7th.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
I guess I gotta hold it down for the Virgo brothers in the world.
Not the Virgo. My daughter's a Virgo, so
Shout out to her then.
Yeah. We were planning on going to South France. We were kind of it was like a battle between South of France and Italy. Okay. We were trying to go around the same time as Cannes film.
Oh yeah. Oh man, yeah. You would have been walking into a situation real nice.
Yeah, it was very ambitious. It was very
that's high season. That's high season.
Yeah, it was very ambitious. I want to see it. Whatever the big event is, I want to see it. I want to experience it because I'm gonna take something from it and then I'm gonna bring it back home. So I want to see it. Cannes Film Festival, the Grand Prix. It was all around the same time. So, we were thinking about doing that, and we got hit. Man. We got hit. So life has been on hold for. We lost a year of life, basically.
Yeah. Definitely keep that on your page.
Oh yes, definitely.
Continue. Me and Will was talking. I forget what conversation we was having, but we were talking about people just trailblazing their own thing, like, and I feel when you say that, because that's a lot of my mentality is like, one thing, I love to travel, so my thing is I always want to do things or go someplace that they either may have not been touched before, or if it has been, I want to get all of everything that comes with it. We talked about the Tulum pandemic. Everybody flew to Tulum I was on Tulum years before when it was quiet. Now I don't even know if I want to go again. That's my perspective.
I mean, you gotta go in the off season. Right?
Yeah, you gotta go in the off season. Another thing was someone told me, I went to Greece some years ago. I went to Athens and Santorini, and just before I went, Ross dropped Santorini. And someone told me, "Oh, you only went because of Ross." I'm like, the song dropped the week I was flying out. Like, come on, let's stop this, like right now.
Well, you just gotta chalk that up to some people just getting their lifestyle cues from other people, from the artists. And again, we all do it, right? Like
definitely.
We wouldn't know about certain brands if it wasn't for
definitely. I agree.
But at the same time, that person that we're looking at as a influential figure, whether they're whatever, an artist, entertainer, there are people out there just like them that just haven't reached that point. So you have people who are really influential, who really have a base level, that they're just not celebrities.
Right.
And I think it's hard for some people to understand that. Like, you really like that? Like, you really like red wine? You really like caviar?
Yes.
I do like it.
Yeah,
like,
and I say it without a shadow of a doubt. Yes, I do. Yeah. I do. And it just also, we talked about taste before. We talked about people just knowing what they like and being centered in it. And that's kind of also how me and Will, not only came through a cousin that our relationship started, but also the things that we aligned on. That was okay, like we're like-minded on this. We want to do these same things. We want to be in business together, and also we want to push, the culture in so many different ways and talk about things that are not necessarily popular in our communities. We two guys, I'm from Uptown too, family from South Philly, and I didn't grow up on Caviar. I didn't grow up on that, but it's something that
I grew up in the middle of Philly. I ain't never seen red wine. I was living there.
Yeah, definitely. But again, in my travels as well, I started learning about different things. when I was in Paris, I'm trying different wines. And I was telling him my Airbnb, bro. I don't know, you may have this because you the wine connoisseur, but I had a whole Airbnb, like the bottles went the circumference of the wall from the time we got there to the time we left. And
so this was bottles that you purchased?
Bottles that I purchased and drink.
Oh man.
Yeah, like it's real. And I was also telling like, and we gonna say this here because we are recording, so we gonna say this here. Hennessy means nothing in Paris. I need people to know that.
Oh, listen. I just like all the champagne that everybody drinks.
Yeah, yo.
None of it means anything over there. They drink totally different shit.
I was like, someone was like, oh, Hennessy. I was like, okay, they mark it up here in the American market. And I went to
have a conversation after this because we can go down a full worm.
Oh yeah, we go vibe, bro. We go vibe. We're in the supermarket, brother.
About what's marketed to black people, we can have a whole conversation about that.
Oh, yes.
We had those conversations kind of frequently, Rob.
I know.
So let me okay, Lamar. So we go from the events, and shout out to Far and the whole 58th Street and all those fellas that have been influential in helping you get to this point. But
yeah, if it wasn't, I just want to say that too, man. If it was like Far, I feel like everybody plays a role in that team, and Far had so many people coming out. He had so much of like the hood behind him.
Yeah, shout out to Far, good dude.
Just, Southwest, West Philly, South Philly. But Far, man, like he's one of the smartest people I know.
Yeah.
He's one of the smartest people I know. And I think what was happening at that time, like now that I'm older, Far was on the money. Like Far was like money. Like, and I was like, yeah, but I'll sacrifice some of this money to be able to build like more of an image and more of a brand, because ultimately this is where I wanted to get. You know what I mean? I wanted Black Is. I wanted to own my own hotel, my own restaurant. And Far was like, I want to get rich. I want money. I want the paper. You know what I mean? And I think at that time, being young, you have differences. You grow out of people, or everybody's viewpoint, their paradigm on life isn't the same, and that's what happened. But man, that's major shout out to Far.
Yeah, shout out to Far, good guy. Being as though this is the month of the woman, and queens, they play a big part in our lives. As personally and business wise. And you highlighted a lot, like a few women that play an influential part in your brand. So can you just expand on how important it is to have a good circle of like-minded people that are working and helping you build, especially women?
Black women make things happen.
Speak on it.
Black women make things happen. I don't I don't even know if it's more to the sentence. Like Black women make things happen, man. I tend to look at myself. It's funny. I don't want to go on a tangent, but long story short, I met this guy one day. He was like a astrologist, I guess. He pulled me to the side. I was one of my daughter, one of her classmates' birthday party. It was like the little girl's like uncle, I believe. And her mom was like, listen, my brother, he might pull you to the side. You don't gotta pay him no mind if you don't want it. I'm like, no, I wanna know what's up. So he pulled to the side and he was like, what's your sign? I told him my sign. He opened this book, like 5 minutes, and he closed it. He told me my whole life.
Get out of here.
My whole life, right? And I'm not even going into everything. But what he said to me was, he said, you have an inventive mind. You have vision. Your problem is you need somebody else to help execute it. Right? And it was maybe 3 years, and I found it because as he was talking, my sister was emailing me everything he was saying. So I went through my email and I read it and I said, damn, man, I said, this is me.
That's deep.
Like, this is me. So I realized that, you know, I have this Rolodex of ideas and this vision, and I can see things, you know, to the point where I'm like, I want to do Black Is, but I think Black Is should be this, and this. And Black Oak should be this, and that. And hospitality, I think we should do blah, 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 blah. But when you really sit down and think about it, you're like, okay, so who's going to do all that? Who's going to do all these things? Because you can't. Like, you're not an octopus. You don't have all them arms. Your brain can't process all of this, right? I had a conversation yesterday with a good friend of mine, and I was just referencing Puff and how, like, Puff has Combs Enterprises, you know, and you have liquor and you have fashion, and, right? I think that way, but you got to also understand that Puff has a team. And through my experience in life, you know, whether it be my sister, my mother early on, to now having two, you know, woman business partners, to, you know, being in a relationship and seeing how, you know, my woman, how she handles things in her own business, handles things within the household, how she thinks when it comes to me. If she reminds me of things, or she's just on top of me about doing stuff, like, nothing compares to a Black woman, man. So, you know, Crystal, which I spoke on already, man, like Crystal is one of, you know, the main components of Black Is. Like, we get no theme, we get no decor, we get no, you know, team that runs all of those parts if it's not for Crystal. Like we can all sit down and have a meeting, and I could call Crystal and be like, yo, I want these leaves hanging off the ceiling. I want the elephant to walk through the building and all of that. But that don't happen without Crystal.
Right.
You understand? So regardless of how much clarity I have and what I see, like, she's integral. Ebony gets stuff done. She's one of the most resourceful, you know, woman. She's the most resourceful woman I know. And she understands, like, okay, if it can't happen that way, it's gonna happen this way. Or we're gonna figure out a way for it to happen, but guess what? It's gonna happen, right? Black Oak. There is no Black Oak without Ebony, right? Like, so just to touch on Black Oak, me and Ebony have our own wine coming out. So
tell us about
it. Yeah. So we got our own wine coming out, 3 different varietals. So when I say varietal, I'm saying grape.
Oh, okay.
So we have a Bordeaux. So Bordeaux, France. So let me say this. Bordeaux is a region of France. The style of wine in Bordeaux, it's a river, right? And on 2 sides of the river. One side, it's predominantly Merlot. One side is predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon. Where, so the left side, which is the left bank of Bordeaux, is predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon. So we are getting a left bank Bordeaux produced right now. So it's going to be predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon with a mix of, varying percentages of the other Bordeaux grapes. So Merlot, Petit Bordeaux, Malbec, Carmenere. So
I love a good Malbec. Malbec is my favorite.
Yeah. So
Cab is my favorite, man.
So we go. We actually go for it. So we did a tasting of the Cabernet already, and Cabernet was amazing. You know, we loved it, which is the base of the wine. We go for another tasting, I believe, sometime in the summertime. So like they're going to do like a variation of blends, and we're going to determine.
Out there?
Say it again.
You guys have to fly out there, or was it?
So it's a Bordeaux style, but it's not from Bordeaux, France.
Okay.
So our grapes are coming from Washington.
Okay.
Coming from Washington, yeah. But it's Bordeaux style because that's where that style was originated.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you see somebody say a Bordeaux blend and it's not from, you know, Bordeaux region, it's basically a blend of the native Bordeaux grapes. So we're doing a tasting and then we'll determine like which blend we want. We're doing a Pinot Gris. Pinot Gris is basically French for Pinot Grigio. So Pinot Grigio is Italian, Pinot Gris is French. So we're doing a Pinot Gris, and we are doing a rosé.
No. Because everybody knows.
We all know William Mel loves a good
rosé.
Yeah. So we're doing a rosé. It's a still rosé, so it's not a sparkling rosé, so it's not a champagne. It's a still rosé. I want to just make that clear because a lot of people that associate rosé with like sparkling, like rosé.
Yeah.
Doing a rosé, it's a toss-up right now between which varietal our rosé is going to be. We tasted 2 different ones and we love both of them. So we're not sure yet. But yeah, so we're getting our wine. You know, wine is being produced right now. So hopefully by the summertime, we'll be launching at least the Pinot Gris and the Rosé. The Bordeaux is going to take a little longer. Of course, it has to sit, it has to age a little longer. The conversation of Ebony and I talking about getting our wine made turned into Black Oak. So, you know, why not do a subscription service that sheds light on Black-owned wine brands and also educating, you know, the Black audience about wine. You know, it's I think it's $72 billion industry or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And we make up only 1% of it.
So that means we need more of our own people in that market.
So yeah, we need more of our own people on every level. Like owning a vineyard, owning winery, winemakers, sommeliers. You know, we need more of all of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that too. The sommeliers, like, you know, I've seen the documentary Song, and also, you know, I know the film Uncorked just came out on Netflix not long ago, and it kind of gives you a little inside look of the exam and knowing all the regions and knowing the grapes and all of that. So like,
so it's so much deeper. It's so much deeper.
It's so much deeper. Yeah, it's so much deeper.
Yeah,
and people don't understand, like, even knowing the pairings to a meal at a you know, at a high end restaurant.
It's a lot.
Yeah. What would you say to, you know, someone that, like, right now that's young, that sees this, or someone that's young that could get some inspiration even to go into that industry, as a young Black man? You know, what would you say to encourage them?
So the answer I'm going to give you, I'm actually talking to myself. So this has to be something you really love, right? Like you really have to make a choice and say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm not looking back, because even where I'm at in wine, like just being really enthusiastic about wine and just doing crazy research. Like I've been researching wine for like 5 years. Just like literally watching every documentary, every movie, reading every article, every website. Like super, I hate to say the word, but super nerd with, right? Like,
no, that's you gotta be.
Yeah, it can be derogatory depending on who you're talking to. So
yeah,
I just
not derogatory here, brother. This is we eat all that up.
So, it's one of them things for me where I just love it, right? I just love it, right? Not only do I love the way it tastes, I love the process of it. I love everything that goes into it. The fact that we've been eating grapes all our life, right? And then you find out that like there's a whole different type of grape that's made for wine. Mm-hmm. And this thing that comes out of nature, and I'm like super nature boy, like I'm plant-based, like diet and everything. I'm super nature. So like this thing comes out of the ground and then you manipulate it. And now it's in this bottle. You can add some of the top, auction houses, is war over land about it. Like, wow, it's just crazy to me. It's so much history behind it. So much history behind it. So I just think it's something you really have to love, and you really have to make a decision with yourself and say, yo, I'm gonna do it. I'm not looking back, and zero in. Do all of the research you need to do. Get your money together. Go to school. And school will show you which level you want to be at, because becoming a sommelier, there's different levels to being a sommelier. It's intermediate, it's foundation, it's advanced, it's master, so you may decide like, you know what, I'm gonna keep it right here. I know everything I need to know. I can have a conversation with people and I feel good about myself having a conversation. I know how to navigate the liquor store. Mm-hmm. But if you want to go further, then just understand what comes with that. Just like anything else in life, like understand what comes with it. Like you want to be the best. All right, well, you got to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and shoot 1,000 jump shots before everybody else gets to the gym. It's the same thing. You have to taste and taste and taste and smell and smell and taste and spend more money. Like this is expensive. Mm-hmm. Right? It's an expensive habit, just like one.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if y'all see my post today. I'm in New York yesterday, and I bought 18
we gonna get to that
wine.
too. We gonna get to that too. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Let you finish, but I'm all
right. So let me finish. Yeah. So it's expensive. So understand, like going to school, like my sister Ebony, she went to school. She went through the classes. She went to level 3, and I sat in on the classes with her, so I can see what was going on. Some of the stuff in the level 2 I knew already. Some of the stuff in level 3 I knew some of it, but I learned a lot from level 3. So now it gave me a better idea, like what I'm walking myself into. But I have at least 2 notebooks, like filled with notes and notes in my phone, just like about everything about wine. And if I sit down and I really like detail these notes, I'm pretty sure it's going to be damn near everything that they're going to tell me going through school. So I actually start school April 11th.
Wow.
Like nice. To get my certification to be a sommelier.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, I start school April 11th. I appreciate it. Thank you. So like you may see me talk about wine, but I don't say like I'm a sommelier. I don't want to play like that because I don't have the certification yet. So I just like wine enthusiast because I'm enthusiastic about it. That's what enthusiast is. Somebody who's enthusiastic about something. They super nerdy with it. They got all the information they need. And now I can have a conversation. I can talk circles around you all day because I did all the research about it. But I actually go to get my certification April 11th. And go ahead.
No, what exactly is a sommelier?
Somebody who is trained to not only educate you about wine, also educate you about what to pair your wine with, also teach you about the hospitality surrounding wine, the type of glassware, how to clean your glasses, what to look for on a label when you go into the liquor store. You know, like all the gadgets and you know what I mean, like everything. You know how to use a wine key. Like this is the person that is the epitome of wine, basically. Like this is what they do. You know, they consult for restaurants, they consult for major import companies. They create wine lists at restaurants. You know, they sit down with a chef and they talk about the wine list with the menu of the food to, you know, be able to match those things up. They come to your table and say, okay, what are you eating? Or what do you like to eat? Right? Like, I love Bordeaux. I love Cabernet. I love full body, heavy, dry wine. But that type of wine doesn't go at every meal.
Right.
So Assam, if I say, listen, you know, I'm eating, you know, clams and linguine tonight, Assam should be able to tell me what to eat with. If I say I'm eating pizza, Assam should say, well, this is what you eat with that pizza. But also, are you eating white pizza? Are you eating red sauce on your pizza?
Red sauce.
You know, like Assam knows these things. That's what Assam is supposed to do. That's what they go to school for. That's what they spend all that money for going to school. That's what those countless hours of research is about. Yeah.
And also another thing, and I just found this out like not long ago, that there's two different types of corks. So like, you know, this is the standard one we've seen, but there is one for bottles that are aged. So like, let's say the bottle was aged for long periods of time, it's been sitting for long. That cork has now become, what's the word I want to use for?
Dry.
It's dry.
It's dry.
So it can break up, and then if you use this and you insert it in there, it's going to fall to disintegrate into your wine. Yep. There's certain caps that have it so that it can come out, but it's on older ages.
It keeps it while it pulls it up. Yeah,
keeps it intact. Yeah. I didn't even know about that. I was like, wow, like if I had an old an old bottle of I'm trying to think of something. Some Camus.
The vintage was the year you was born.
Oh yeah. That thing is rotted. So now at this point, I have to get that cork out of there without it falling into my liquor into the wine. And you don't want to, you spit parts out of cork.
No, that's not good.
That's not good. That's totally done. You pouring that out.
Put that back when you go to a restaurant.
Exactly.
That's a good look on the Somm at the restaurant.
Yeah.
So they have to make sure that they either, uncork it the correct way, or they need to put it in a decanter and let that cork settle at the bottom of the decanter before they pour it out in the glass.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I work at a high school right now. We're a culinary and performing arts high school.
Okay.
And a lot of my students go to like the CIA or they go to Cornell, hospitality program, which is one of the top in the world.
Yes.
You working at, the top resorts in the world if you come out of those schools. So, I actually had dinner on the campus of the Culinary Institute of America, and you can actually see how they train their people to cork a bottle of wine and actually pour it at its maximum capacity so that you don't get the oxidants and anything that in the residue at the bottom. So it's like, I'm learning. I'm like, it was like open pour.
There's two different ways you can do it. Like, so usually, like wine is stored horizontally because you want the wine to be in contact with the cork because you don't want the cork to get dry. So usually as you're storing your wine, a lot of these bigger wines, these drier wines, these bolder wines, they have tannin in it. And it's a lot of sediment. So it's a lot of remnants of sometimes the barrel it was aged in, the grape skin, the stem of the grape, the seeds of the grape. So before you pour that wine, you need to sit the bottle up for a minute so it can settle and fall. So what Psalms do at restaurants, they take a lighter. So when they pour the wine, that lighter is so they can see if the sediment is at the neck of the bottle. That's how they know not to pour it out.
Yep.
Wow.
Or you put it in a decanter.
Decanter, yep.
For the decanter, that sediment, it settles at the bottom of it. So now as you're pouring, it gets trapped right here. And also this is clear, so you can see it. You don't need to put a light up to it. Because most bottles are like dark green, not necessarily, but they're dark, So that's pretty much, what happens with a decanter or kind of what they're doing in the back before they bring your glass out.
Yeah. Well, because this is a school, that's the only reason why I saw it, because they have to, this is a part of their education. So they're working in the on-site restaurant to show you, look, this is how we're doing it. Of course, you pay a fraction of the price. You're getting a French meal for, a fraction of what you would pay in the city. But at the same time, you're getting to see firsthand, somebody learn how to pour a glass of wine or what's the proper wine or whatever. But it's certainly something that, I guess not everybody's going to see. But
like restaurants, like when they pour your glass and they give you that last little bit that's in the bottle, that's usually where that sediment settles at.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get that in your glass, and it's not harmful, but it's very bitter, it's very harsh, which is going to ruin the taste of your wine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not good. That's not what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to pour you that last little bit, And just to touch on the cork screw, they tell you in Psalm school that cork that you just showed, we're not supposed to use that. You're supposed to put a wine key. Yeah, like when you saw me uncorking it.
I remember.
Yeah. Like it's two different. I don't know if you can see it, but like the top one, it helps pull it up, but it can't pull it up all the way. So now you have the bottom piece right here, which helps you go, the rest of the way.
To lift it off the mouth of the. Yeah.
I had a bottle open already. I just had a.
I mean, this
is work that I ain't trying to get lit, so I don't want to open another bottle.
Yeah, it's gonna work. No, so this is why I'm gonna take this opportunity, and this is where we gonna murk you. We gonna murk you in a good way. So you were in my neck of the woods. I live in Newark, right? In North Jersey.
North Jersey.
I'm from Philly, but I live in North Jersey now.
Okay.
And you went to one of my favorite restaurants, and I'm telling Will, he's in my favorite restaurant. One of them. Palmer. Listen, they got a crazy arancini, which is crazy. And, and I peeped, because I know, I saw that you were, going to the wine place. And then when I saw Palmer come, I said, yo, he said Palmer.
That's like that's a go-to. Like that's, so, what's crazy? I've only been to Palmer twice.
Okay.
Palmer left such an impression on me that I have to make it a place that I go to every time I go to New York. And I'm a restaurant guy. I want to go to every single restaurant. I want to try everything. Like restaurants is where my plant-based diet gets X'd out, right? Like something I've never had before, I have to try it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try it once to be able to experience it, and then I'll go back to eating, bird food. But first time I went to Palmer, the experience was so good. Like the hospitality and the food. Like if you go somewhere and you get good hospitality, you get good food, and the service is timely. I didn't have to sit there and wait for them to, 20 minutes for them to pour me a glass of water. I gave them the appetizers, and the appetizers came out. And 10 minutes maybe. The waiter didn't go off and have a conversation for 30 minutes before they came back and asked what the entree was. Like, I was blown away. I was blown away. The food was that good, and it left a lasting impression on everybody who I was with, which were the same people I was in New York with yesterday. And it was, it was like, oh, we got to go back. We have to go back.
Yeah. This is literally, and Will knows, like, almost every weekend I do 2 restaurants in a day.
Yeah. Almost
every weekend, solid. Unless I'm going off doing something else.
But we need to meet. We need to meet.
Oh, bro, it's Curtis. This is already done, bro. This is already cemented. But like, and you go on my Instagram, like I always post like what places I'm going to, whether it be French bistros with some escargot, or we try everything. And one thing is, again, because of where I come from and because of the upbringing and the people I was around growing up, that was never encouraged.
Not at all.
It wasn't encouraged in the crews that I hung out with growing up. I got it, my mother, was like, try different things, but that's the home. But outside at school, what? Nah, if you any more different than your crew that you hang with, it's kind of like you're a weirdo. So
I get called bougie every day.
Yeah, it ain't bougie. I literally.
And that's been going on for years.
I know.
Don't bother me. There's certain people that do it, I know it's funny, but there's certain people I do it and I know it's malicious. Like, oh, you want to be bougie? It's like,
nah.
You're just not open-minded.
Yeah, you just not
something you act like you can stay there for all that matters to me. Like, I'm gonna live life. Like, you gotta understand. Like I said, I grew up in the middle of North Philadelphia. Like, I don't know nothing. I didn't know nothing about red wine. You didn't know nothing outside of the 4 squares you lived in. Right. So I didn't know about red wine. I didn't know about, Bordeaux. What is Bordeaux? What is that? Right? Like, I have no clue. Like, we didn't grow up with great-great-grandparents that owned vineyards. They didn't pass down no vineyards to us. You didn't know about the culture outside of North Philadelphia. You barely knew the culture in Mount Airy. You knew the culture in Philadelphia. Right. So you can say whatever you want to say. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna polish my wine glass.
Yeah, shout out to that too. That's a stunt too. Literally.
Air out in my decanter.
It gotta have that glare.
Yeah.
I see them polishing the glass and say, yo, he's polishing the glass.
Nah, man.
Oh.
No.
Literally.
So I don't want to walk in your house and you got water stains on your wine glass. No. I wouldn't do it to you if you came to my house.
Right. Give me the same love.
And that's the thing, man. It may come across to some people as like, oh, boy, tripping. But the thing is, there are people who live this lifestyle every single day.
On a regular.
And it's foreign to us. And because it's foreign to us, people can't fathom that somebody who looks like us would have this mindset. So you live this way. Yeah. No, I'm going to live this way now. I don't have the mansion yet. I don't have the $150,000 car yet, right? But I'm going to live like I do. You know why? Yeah. I'm putting it into existence.
Right.
I was just about to say that.
Put it into existence. This is who I am.
Right. And you know what's so crazy, Lamar? That was one of the focal points of I don't even like to call this a podcast no more. I like to call it a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what, this show is about, like-minded brothers that just have a different expectation of what taste is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talking about wines and caviar and just elegance and opulence of, Black people just hitting another plateau of what, luxury is. Like, yeah, you might not have the $150,000 car or the house, but we still live like it. Like, everything that we say and how we walk into a room shows that, he might not physically have it, but he gonna get that. And that's what,
like, you become who you are.
You become who you are.
Yeah.
You have an idea of who you want to be in life, but you don't get to be the person who you want to be. You get to be the person who you are. So if I want to be a som, if I want to be a hotelier, if I want to be a restaurateur, I gotta act like I'm that person because that's going to influence my mindset. I have to be that person now.
Mm-hmm.
Come to my house, yeah, I'm going to talk that talk about this wine that you about to drink. I'm going to tell you why I'm giving you this wine because my wife made that entree and this wine goes with it. And I can go on a tangent.
No. And I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Just in terms of the, as someone that respects the hospitality, where's someone that you gone or visited that you felt like this is it? Like I like this place. I like this setting. Like someplace you travel, a hotel you stayed at that you felt like I don't want to leave.
So I'm being honest, I haven't been to a hotel in an extremely long time.
Yeah.
Because of Airbnb.
Okay.
Because
just the experience alone, just like
Yeah. Because of me just being really inquisitive and wanting to learn that, Airbnb made more sense. So that I haven't been to a hotel in a really long time. Restaurant, I'll say it's a restaurant in, I think it's Bella Vista, called Little Fish.
Mm-hmm.
Little Fish, from the time you walked in the door to the time I left, the hospitality was there. Wow, man, you really got me thinking. You know what's happening right now? Because people know that I love hospitality, like everybody that come in the city, they ask me where to go, and then you never know where to tell them where to go. So, like that's what's happening right now. You ask me this question. So I'm really trying to think. Wow, man.
Why you pondering
that? Palmer.
Palmer. He said Palmer.
The experience there was great. But let me think on it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. If it comes again, out.
So as we come to the end of the show, and I must say, and Rob, I'm pretty sure that you can co-sign on it. This is
how much time we got?
It's 7.
Honestly, I don't even care, man. I'm just like,
you got?
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna hold you because I told you an hour. So
I got time.
Okay, that's great.
But it's not my daughter bedtime yet. I got time.
Okay. All right, cool. I love it. Father first. I can dig that. This show tonight has really, Rob, I'll say, elevated what this conversation and what Caviar conversation is really about. And shouts out to you, Lamar, for that. So, with that being said, what are you drinking in your glass tonight, my brother?
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux. I don't know if you can see it.
Hold on, because it's white. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
A little bit.
It's called Chateau Greysack.
Okay.
It's a 2015 Bordeaux. And again, I told you I love Bordeaux. So since we got a little bit of time, I started drinking red wine in 2007. I was at a restaurant. Actually, if y'all remember, Derek's on Main Street.
Yep. I like Derek's.
I was at Derek's on Main Street.
Yeah.
He has a new restaurant called Libertine. It's really good. You should look into it.
All right, I'm gonna try that too.
But I saw this guy, black guy. He had the tailored suit on. He was having a dinner with, it was like 2 different women. I was on a date.
The scene was set already, like
He was set already, right? Like this whole bourgeois lifestyle.
Yeah.
In front of me in 2007. So I saw him drinking red wine, and I was only drinking white wine up until that point. So I saw him drinking red wine, and I'm like, and for some reason in my mind, because of this elitist industry, and the way it has been marketed and the way we have been, you know, kind of like shut out of it, I thought red wine was like super expensive. So when I saw him drinking this red wine, I'm like, I'm drinking red wine from now on. Like, dude fits the mold. Like, he is the idea, right? The suit, you know, everything. So I started drinking Merlot. I buy Merlot all the time. Somebody kind of hipped me to Merlot and Cabernet being similar. So I started buying Cabernet. Fell in love with Cabernet. And as I got older, you know, in my recent years doing research, Cabernet has a fingerprint of green pepper. So fingerprint meaning like what is like the dominant aroma of a wine, right? Like what is the makeup of a wine? I love green peppers. I love peppers, period, but green pepper. So I've been drinking Cabernet. I'm buying all these Cabernets all the time. Come to find out, you know, I'm asking a million questions when I'm in a liquor store. I find out that Cabernet is left bank Bordeaux. Left bank Bordeaux is dominant Cabernet. I start buying all these left bank Bordeaux. I'm spending crazy amounts of money on buying Bordeaux. I'm storing them in the basement. You know, I'm doing my research, finding out that Bordeaux, or at least Cabernet, it gets smoother as time goes on, right? So you buy a 2019, it'll be less harsh, you know, in the next 5 years. So I'm buying a million Bordeaux, I'm storing them in the basement. So it just got to the point where I was like, damn, the first two varietals that I began drinking, it's a blend. Like, this is amazing. So now I'm buying Bordeaux. So that is my go-to. I buy Bordeaux. Found out that there are some Bordeaux that are, you know, $30, $35. You know, I have a few of them that are $50, $60, and then some of them can go up, you know, to $1,000. I haven't purchased one of those yet, but I just love Bordeaux. I love Bordeaux. I love Cabernet. So on any given day, that's probably what I'm drinking. I'm probably drinking a Cab. I'm probably drinking a Bordeaux. And now, because of you know, the black wine industry, I'm trying so many different wines based on the label, based on the owner of the wine. You know,
yeah, I think
every varietal, there is a black vintner that owns one of these varietals. So I'm buying a lot of black wine right now and just trying a lot of different wines, man. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. I see you picked up that Wade, that Dwayne Wade cellar.
Yeah. I picked up everything I can get my hands on, to be honest. Because the problem is this: a lot of the black wine companies, they're small, and they don't. I'm not going to say they don't. I'm not sure what their issue is, but to be able to distribute to all states, there are certain states you can't ship to at all unless you're shipping to like the state itself. So you can't do direct shipping like to your doorstep in certain states. But some of these companies are small. They're just getting off the ground. Or they're probably just doing so well in their region that they're not even worried about, you know, all the other states.
Yeah.
You can't find some of these wines, you know, in PA. You can't find some of them in Jersey, Delaware. So whenever I get a chance to get my hands on some black-owned wine, I'm buying it all. But what I was saying was shipping costs are ridiculous. Right? Shipping costs are ridiculous because a lot of these black-owned wines, they don't have distribution in all of the states. So they're going through a middleman for distribution. And that middleman, of course, is taxing us. So you're getting a bottle, and remember too, a lot of black on wines, especially the ones who are in like top regions, like Napa Valley, Willamette Valley in Washington. These are like $40, $50 bottles, but your shipping cost is like $30. So you're spending $67 for one bottle. So, that's why I had to do what I did, yesterday when I went to New York, because, she carries the largest inventory. She has the largest inventory of black-owned wine at Happy Court in Brooklyn. So I had to buy everything I can get my hands on to be able to experience these wines.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm about to do is like the ones that I really love, I'm gonna just sign up for their wine clubs and I'll just get their wine all year.
Nice.
That's dope. So in the comparison, because people know, especially Will and any viewers know that I love a red wine, but I also like fragrances. And I see my radar, you know what I mean? So what's piquing your interest right now? When Clout was on here, he hit us with the Baccarat.
Hit us with the Baccarat.
Fragrance, he was telling us about the oils and we know about the perfumes versus the oils and everything, but what are you feeling right now? Like what's your fragrance? Because I like the Barredo, I like the Sunday Cologne, but I wanted to see what you were feeling right now on that market as far as fragrances. I think it's the same game a little bit too, because
at one point I was a Tom Ford guy at one point. Then I switched it to Bond.
Bond's crazy.
I'm still on Bond. I'm trying to remember the one that I have, to be honest. It'll come to me in a second. But I'm still on Bond. Barredo is the new thing. And the ones that you saw, the ones that I posted, I'm gonna blend them. I'm gonna blend them together.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna blend them together. It was crazy, man. That was like the missing puzzle. That was like the missing piece to the puzzle. Like I was always like, get the beard oil, make sure your beard cool, get your tailored suit, make sure your shoes is cool. But I never was a cologne guy. I got into cologne maybe like 6 years ago.
Okay.
Like 6 years ago. And it's interesting, my brother is actually going to school to be a perfumer. Well, I keep saying perfumer. I think that's the wrong word. But
look, we gonna say what we know.
Whatever it is, he's going to school for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's always sending me recommendations, or he's always telling me like, "Yo, I know you you a cedar guy. You a real like a woody guy.
Yeah.
So you can try that." And I realized like I love like cedar, and it was crazy because cedar was one of the first aromas I picked up in red wine.
You know why?
You
know why? I don't think you know why.
I want you to tell me.
Because you're a Taurus. I'm dead serious. Y'all laughing at me. I'm for real. It listen, and I don't know if this is just some like conspiracy, but any Taurus that I've ever met, literally, I ain't talking about ladies. I'm talking about any dudes that were born in the month of of April or May. Listen, they like those fragrances. They like fresh fragrances.
Okay.
I'm talking about heavy, like tonka bean, like because one thing with Tom Ford is a lot of his stuff is very heavy based, like night fragrances. Like a lot of his stuff is like you going out at night, Vegas stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He doesn't make a lot of fresh, light airy stuff.
Daytime.
Huh?
Like daytime.
Like daytime, exactly. Yeah. So I found anybody they like fresh, like bergamot, cedar.
Bergamot. I got bergamot soap, and I love it.
See that I was talking about? I ain't far off. You know what I mean? Any of those fragrances always. I don't know if it's because of the month that people are born, but it's based upon, literally someone told me that it's based upon the month that I was born, kind of gives off to what fragrances I like. And anybody knows I like light stuff, like even that Armani Privé that I showed on, that's a light fragrance, but it says a lot, but it's light. It's not heavy. So I don't know, people that are born in winter months, they like something with, what's the I'm trying to think of a fragrance that's really heavy. You remember when Gaudier was hot?
Yeah.
The first bottle. It was like heavy vanilla based. So vanillas are like really going heavy in fall, but fall and winter. You don't really smell a lot of vanilla in the summer.
Okay.
That's a fall, winter based fragrance. And it definitely, I know this. If I go to a store and they got to keep giving me beans to smell, that lets me know that that's too heavy. I'm like, all right, let's move on to something lighter.
That's what we have to do when we're smelling wine. Like, you got to smell the beans in between so you can break it up.
Yeah. Because you don't want to blend that smell from that last fragrance or that last bottle of wine into something new.
It's I was just in Saks picking up some stuff for my lady, and I ran into a friend of mine who was doing the same thing, and he had told me about this fragrance called Maison Francis. I think it's like Kirk. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, crazy. Kirk something. Kirk.
It's like
I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's a red box. Got gold on it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I spent too much money that day, so I ain't buy it for myself. But
that's like two and a quarter.
It's like more than 2 1/4, to be honest.
The the small is like 2
travel size.
Yeah, travel size. Yeah, but yes, I'm familiar with it. Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that out. But yeah, right now it's, like I said, it's Barreto and Le Labo.
What I say?
Yeah.
This is my guy here, man.
Yeah, Le Labo. Yeah, those are.
I'm surprised we didn't meet earlier.
That's my year right now.
We said Le Labo a couple weeks ago. We were
Le Labo, yeah.
And I said Le Labo Noir 29 is stupid. That Santal, like Le Labo's, I think is probably one of the most slept on fragrances. Period.
That's my year. That's my 2021. Like,
yeah,
I'm playing around with those, and in reference to wine, my 2021 is also white wine. So I'm playing around with a lot of white wine this year. Because I'm heavy red. I was already hip to Sauvignon Blanc, but Chardonnays, whether they oaked or unoaked, Pinot Gris, Pinot Grigio, Riesling, Gewürztraminers, I'm doing all of that 2021 just to get myself acclimated with it, because this journey I'm about to go on, like I'm gonna really have to buckle down,
Do you believe in seasons for different wines? I mean, because you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm like, I kind of only put white wines into my summer and spring, like, because I feel like they need to be chilled or whatever. And then I feel like the reds are, I'm not chilling the red.
Yeah.
So what do you?
I don't believe in seasons. I believe in seasons when it comes to fragrance.
Okay.
I believe in seasons when it comes to wine.
Okay.
My nephew is like lurking in front of me right now. My bad.
No, that's cool.
Like I said, I'm heavy red, so I believe in the day. So like, I'm not gonna drink a Syrah or a Bordeaux or a Cabernet at brunch. I'm gonna drink a Pinot Noir. I'm gonna drink a Beaujolais. Maybe a Sangiovese, but nighttime, Cabernet.
Different game.
Bordeaux, Syrah, you know what I mean? Daytime, I'm drinking Rosé. Daytime, it may be Prosecco. Don't give me no Prosecco at night though. I'm drinking my wine at night. I'm going heavy. You know what I mean? So that's my mindset. That's my mindset. Yeah.
Nice.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that's
I like that. I like that. I know we all kind of make up our own little things. And some people will try to bring me a white in the middle of January. I'm like, I mean, I'll drink it, but I'll be like, I would have loved a Malbec, you know, or something else. But you know, if my joint is chill, my Chardonnay or Pinot Grigio is chill in the summertime, and it's light. I like those vibes more so in the summer and spring.
I'll be honest, man. I don't necessarily like white wine. I've had all white wines. Mm-hmm. It's not my preference. I like Pinot Gris. I like Pinot Grigio. I like Gewürztraminer. Mm-hmm. I like a semi-sweet Riesling. So when it comes to white wine, I like the sweeter ones. When it comes to red wines, I like the heavier ones, the drier ones. But as far as
the body of them too, is it the body for you?
I like a heavy wine, like Pinot Noir. I'll probably only drink Pinot Noir during the day because in my mind it just matches the day. Mm-hmm. If I'm eating a light meal or something like that, I'll drink a Pinot Noir. If I can't find a rosé, you know, I'm a sparkling rosé. I'm not really big on still rosé. I'm really heavy on sparkling rosé. I love champagne.
Come on.
I'm not really the Prosecco guy. I'm a champagne guy.
He said, "Come on."
So, that's really what it's about. But I just want to wrap my head around the white wines the same way I understand the red wines. So that's why I said I'm going to take this year and you know, really zero in on the white wines. Yeah.
Man, this has been a very enlightening, glorious conversation.
Can we do something before we end this?
Yeah.
We going.
Y'all glasses filled?
Oh, let me do it. I'm about to hook my caviar up in a minute. Right now, like minds always come together in some form of fashion.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we came together this evening, and this will continue. You know, you are now that you've been here, you're an extension of us. You family, and you know, me and Will trying to grow not only this brand but also just the conversation, because we want to bring this across to everybody, and we also told certain people like we just want to put our feet in the water, get into it, stop making excuses, let's do it. And that's always been the type of person I am. And then when I met Will and he was like mine, I was like, oh, let's go. Why? Yeah, that's not even why we even asking too many questions. Let's just go do it, and then everything will come as it goes. So I'm loving this experience, and I'm loving the fact that we're meeting like-minded people on the way to, you know,
definitely
wherever we're going, it's only gonna go up. So
that's life, man. That's when you start really living in, you know, your passion, the universe begins to put people in front of you. It's like magnetism. Like once you really tap in to whatever frequency you on, right? Like once you tap into that frequency and your love for it, and you vibrating at a high level, the universe says, okay, you're gonna be the vessel. I'm gonna start putting it all in front of you, and I'm gonna see what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this would have happened if I didn't begin to, you know, be on a certain frequency. Like Will wouldn't have reached out to me if I wasn't on a certain frequency, right? Like if I would have been the party promoter, the club promoter, the event producer, and then all of a sudden I fell off the face of the earth, like Will wouldn't have reached out. I'm not saying there's no disrespect, but I'm not on that path no more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not on that path no more. So it would have been no reason to talk about lifestyle with me and taste because I'm not visible anymore. Right? Like that's 48 laws of power. Like attract like attention. Like attract, you know what I'm saying? Attract attention. Whatever the chapter is, I forget the name of the chapter, but it's like you gotta be visible. If you say you're gonna do something, you have to be visible. If you ain't visible, like ain't nobody checking for you.
I agree, but then I'm on another page of it too, because again, if you had dealings in it and you were doing something at a level, you may not even be doing it now, but you still did something at a current level at some point in time. I respect to all of that across the board. You ain't,
What I was trying to say is out of sight, out of mind.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. I'm like, somebody doesn't have to be like,
So let's just say in 2009, when my daughter was born, and I took a break, and I was done, and I just went and became like cubicle Lamar, right?
Okay.
We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And no disrespect to anybody.
No, because you say you wouldn't have gotten into the wine and all.
Yeah. No disrespect to anybody who works in the cubicle. But what I'm saying is, people who work in cubicles usually don't get reached out to for platforms like this because most people are not visible.
Yeah.
So that's all I was saying. That's what I was saying.
No, I understand that. And that's another thing, that reason why we're here is that we want to highlight that as well. I mean, we have diversity, like, one of our first guys was, the Ralph Lauren creative director.
And listen, I was following him already.
Oh, you already following?
Following him already because I love his style. So when I saw it, I was like, "How did y'all pull this off?"
That's my guy, man. And he a cool dude, bro. And he has a bed and breakfast in Cape May.
Cape May, yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of retired from the fashion game. He does bespoke a little bit, but he kind of retired, and his wife was like,
He has ties to Philly, and his wife has ties to Philadelphia.
Yeah, she's from Philly. Yeah, his wife's from Philly.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. She looked familiar.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, I put that on everything. When I was following him, and then when I went to the episode, and then I started looking back, like, oh, that's him. And I looked at her, I was like, she looks familiar. I do not know where. I don't know this name somewhere. But I do not know where I saw her at, but she looks familiar. And I know it's not from his page. It's not from his page because literally I was on his page looking at his style. So I'm like, why does she look so familiar? So
she's a Philadelphia girl. And so I told him what we were trying to do, and he was like, yo, let's do it. And again, that's all we can do is reach out to people and again, like-minded and want to have the discussions that we want to have. And we looking to extend it. Like, we want to get some ladies on here too to talk about some other stuff too. But
I know some people that's in the lifestyle space that can really fluently talk.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Hey,
so it's nothing but an email or a DM. I can send it, but I know some people in that space.
Yeah, bro. We just trying to put our stamp and also encourage folk as well. Like, I like these conversations because I don't want it to be this exclusivity for people where it's like, oh, I can't do that because of this. Like, like with the caviar thing, people feel like, oh, I don't have them. No, there's affordable caviars. Oh, no. There are affordable wines, right? Vacation, same thing.
Yeah, you don't have to get wild caviar from the sturgeon.
Yeah.
Come on.
You already know.
Already, I know what it is.
Yeah.
But, I just
vacation's the same way.
Horrible, so I couldn't go get it. But no, I wanna do something with y'all before y'all talk to Caviar, right? So look, since we talking about wine, there's this thing called the 5 Esses of wine, right? So what you do, one is see, right? You see it, so you look at it. And usually if you have like a white, tablecloth or a white wall, or you look at your wine and you can see the color of it. Right?
Okay.
See the color of it. The color of it gives you an indication of not only the type of wine it is, because lighter wine is going to be a little lighter in color, right? If it's older, it's going to be more like a brick red.
Okay.
So you got like brick red, you got ruby, right? Like all shades of, red, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you get on the darker side, your purple, right? That's going to be more like your full body wine. So that way, when you order something in a restaurant, they gave you what you ordered. Because some restaurant, like top restaurants, they'll bring the bottle out and they'll show it to you. Some restaurants don't. So you need to understand, like, okay, like that's what I ordered, right? Also, you need to look in there to make sure there's no cork in there. Make sure there's no cork in there. Make sure there's no sediment. So like where I said sediment, like the grape seeds, the skins, the stems, some of the remnants of the barrel. Make sure that's not in there, right? See it. Now, the second S is you swirl it. So you swirl your wine.
Does that work with rosés too? Sparkling rosés?
It's not, but you can do it anyway.
Because I felt like I'm a little left out. So let me ask this.
He said it's not, but
muscle memory. You can get muscle memory up right now, right? So you swirl it. And you swirl it. So what's happening with this is, when you bite into an apple and you let it sit out too long, it turns brown.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you cut an avocado, it turns brown. The oxygen hits it, so it's oxidizing. But you need that oxygen to hit your wine, because a lot of those chemical compounds in your wine, you need those to evaporate to give you a better taste of your wine. Like if you fresh out the bottle, you pour it fresh out the bottle, you're gonna taste that alcohol. So that's why you have like decanters where you pour it out, you let the air hit it, you let it sit for a while, because you need that oxidation and you need it to evaporate out of your glass.
Okay.
So oxidation and evaporation, you need that to happen. So that way, not only you can smell it, because at first, as soon as you pour out the bottle, you smell it, you're gonna smell alcohol. But if you let it sit for a while, you'll get the true aromas of the wine. So after you swirl it, you sniff it. So you smell it. Put your whole nose in it. Smell it. Deep breath. And one thing people need to understand is that some things you're not going to smell because you may not have any experience smelling it, right? So when you hear people talking about wine, they're like, I smell grass. I smell
it's like it's stepped on.
Yeah, I smell graphite. I smell pencil shavings. I smell, soil, dirt, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you don't have experience smelling those things. And you can only taste 5 things, but you can smell like tens of thousands of things. So when you smell those things, basically it lets you know what you're tasting. A lot of what you taste is what you smell. It's called your olfactory memory. So you can cover your nose and smell something and taste something, and you won't taste it. Because a lot of times it's in your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you smell it, it just gives you an idea of what you're smelling. Also, you want to smell it because that cork could have got into it. That cork could have been bad. If that cork was bad, now your wine has wine taint. So now your wine smells like vinegar. It smells like rotten eggs, right? Mm-hmm. Or a certain varietal smell has a certain fingerprint. So that lets you know, like, this is what I ordered, right? Like, Pinot Noir smells like roses, but Cabernet smells like green pepper. It smells like graphite. So if you order the Pinot Noir, you shouldn't be smelling graphite.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So after you smell it, you sip it. Not a big gulp. You sip it.
Sip. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You sip it. Let it sit. Let it sit on your tongue for a while. Swish it around your mouth like mouthwash. Swish it around. Let it hit every part of your mouth. Because that's going to open it up, right? Swish it around. Now, everybody don't do this. Everybody may not know how to do it. But the same reason why you decant and the same reason why you swirl, you can actually do it in your mouth. Like, you can pull some air in. And that also helps with the oxidation. So once you let it sit and it gets in your mouth, the last S is savor. So you swallow it slowly. Because what happens is once you swallow it, those aromas, they come back up and they go into your olfactory memory and it lets your brain know like this is what you're tasting. So what happens is savoring in it is it's called the finish. So a finish on a wine is how long that wine will sit on your tongue. And qualities of most of like the traits of most of the quality wines, they'll sit on your tongue long. So you might get 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe a minute. You may get some wines, you might be 10 seconds go by and you don't taste nothing. So it's called the finish. So you might hear people say, what's the finish? Or the finish on the wine was short. The finish was long, whatever the case may be. And the finish is like, that's a really quality wine because I still taste that wine up until the point where I took my next sip. So those are the 5 S's of wine. So those are the 5 things you need to look for when you're tasting wine.
Wow.
Yeah, we can go into so much more, but I know that this wasn't strictly about wine. But we can have another conversation about that.
Listen, I just learned something new, brother.
Right. You gave us a whole education. Well, we're coming to the end of the show. Rob, any final thoughts, man, before we have a caviar toast?
Well, I have thoughts, man. This was good. I mean, I got a wealth of knowledge on wine, even more so than what I already knew.
Right.
And definitely, it makes me proud also just to see another Black brother that knows a wealth of knowledge and wanting to continue his education in that as well. Yeah. And it's needed. It's definitely needed, because again, like I said before, it's not necessarily encouraged in our communities for people to have an outside look to things that they feel like can only be for the wealthy. And it's like, it's not the case. Yeah. So I appreciate you, bro. And I appreciate you coming on today. I appreciate you spending the time with us and giving us a wealth of knowledge on wine, in your experience and how you came up. This is definitely it's a treat and it's dope. I appreciate you so much, man.
No, I appreciate y'all. Again, man, it was very unexpected when you reached out to me, Will. And that's probably because I'm new to this. Regardless of all of the research I've done, regardless of me posting about it, regardless of me talking about Black Oak and the company I started, with my partners, I'm still new. I'm still on the starting line. It's so much more to do. It's so much more to learn. Even this program I'm about to embark on, it's like a 2-year program. So for you to reach out to me, I can speak very confidently about parties. I can speak very confidently about events and production and marketing. I'm confident in the level of knowledge I have about wine, but it's so much more. So for somebody to say like, I recognize or I acknowledge what you're doing, and we should have a conversation about that. That means a lot to me. That just lets me know that not only am I on the right path, but I'm articulating it to the audience in a way where, you know, people can digest it, right? Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm humbled by it, and I'm
for sure.
I'm on a journey, man. And
yeah, if
I come back to the show, you know, a year from now or 2 years from now, you know, when y'all on y'all 500th episode, I'm gonna wear y'all out because I'm gonna have way more to give you. You know what I mean?
Good. And I appreciate you for accepting the invite, because I know we don't talk often. We don't really see each other often, but when we do see each other and talk, it's always genuine love.
Always gonna be love. It's always gonna be love. Yeah.
And the fact that you were like, yo, Beck, say less. You know what I mean? Just
explain nothing.
Just of the relationship that we have and the knowledge that you brought tonight, man. This for me was a crash course into wine, because I'm not really a wine guy. And Rob would say, like, I'm like a big sparkling rosé type of guy. Like, that's my thing,
Well, I knew that because in the email, I saw that and I was ready. I was ready to tell you about the rosé and the prosecco and the champagne, but I said, you know what? Maybe it's another conversation. We'll wait. So let's not do too much.
But no, man, we want to thank you once again for coming on, just giving us information, giving us knowledge, giving us education on who you are, from where you started and where you at now, and the journey that you're about to take. And we love to follow that journey and be a part of that journey in any way possible, my brother, for sure.
It's going to be posted every step of the way. It's going to be posted because we never saw it.
Right.
Like it's 220 sommeliers and it's only 3 master Black men sommeliers. Right. Ooh. Now it's level 2s, it's level 3s, it's level 4.
But masters is only 3.
Level 5 is master. It's only 3 master sommeliers, Black men. And that means something to me. And the more and more I say to myself, like, I'm gonna go level 3, I'm gonna go level 4, and then I'm gonna just run my business and do what I gotta do. I look at that and I'm like, hey man, I don't know. Maybe I need to go master.
Hey man, we can't.
And so
we hope that there are 4 masters.
I'm about to say go level 5, bro. Go level 5.
Yeah, whatever you can do, brother. We here to support you. We here to follow the journey. And like people support us, we support them at the same time. So with that being said, my brother, this is a Caviar toast.
Caviar toast.
Hold on, let him fill his glass up.
Yeah.
A little bit more. All right, here we go.
Shouts out to you, brother.
Shout out.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys, man. Talk to you soon.
Yes, man, will do.
Oh, tell them where to follow you at, brother.
So, man, you can follow me a million places. So, M-A-R. So M as in Mary, A as in Apple, R as in run, _ C-Y-L. C as in cat, Y as in YOLO, L as in why can I not think of an L? Lemon, lime, right? So Mars, C-Y-L. And for those who are trying to figure that out, CYL stands for complement your lifestyle. People call me Marcel, like it's an underscore. If that was my name, it would not be an underscore. So CYL stands for complement your lifestyle. And that's something that we can speak about another time. That's my personal page, Black Oak. Black Oak is a Black-owned company who sheds the light on Black-owned wine brands. That's Black Oak, BLAC, no K, BLAC, Oak, OAK, Wine Club. We have a $5 membership monthly. The website is in my bio and also on the Black Oak Wine Club Instagram page bio. Check it out. And Black is experience. So clearly there's a bunch of blackness going on. So, understand where I'm coming from. Black is experience. Black, BLACK, is IS, experience. You should know how to spell experience. I hope you do. Black is experience. You can register. Hopefully 2021, the city will, release some of these stipulations and we can do our event. It's probably not going to be as big as we thought it would be, but probably like half the audience. But all in all, you register, you may be able to get in. But yeah, those are my 3 IG handles. And that's that.
Great. That's great.
Yeah,
Well, you already know, everybody knows this is at Sartorial King. And
this is at Sir William L.
At Sir William L. Follow us. Be along the journey with us. And definitely follow any guest that comes on and be a part of their movement. We don't introduce trash. We introduce the best of the best and people that are willing to push the culture forward, as we are as well, through the conversation. It's all through conversation. So again, this is another I'm about to say Caviar Confessions last week. This is another Caviar conversation, and we are happy to be with you guys. Will, you want to say one more thing before we go
out? Keep tuning in. More great guests, more luxury, more awesome conversations that we're having. And the door is wide open. We about to really walk through it. So
yeah. Oh, I forgot. I gotta shout out my man birthday. My little bro, Nasir Oliver, was his birthday today. So I want to give him a shout out as well.
Happy birthday, brother.
Yeah, happy birthday. And he gonna see this, so when he see it, we'll talk. But other than that, we want to give love and light to everyone, to the subscribers. Again, hit that like button, subscribe, be a part of the movement, and also follow the Instagram pages so you can see whatever is materializing between this movement. All right? Have a great one. Be blessed.
All right.
Caviar for breakfast, champagne, bubble 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 bath.